Think what thoughts we've had about the State Department and the government all these years, and then remember, this woman was Deputy Chief of Mission, Acting Ambassador, Charge d'Affaires, political officer. It shows, don't judge everybody, let's not stereotype here, because look, there's some good people inside even, and the thing is to get them to speak out, which Anne is encouraging. Now, as I understand the way this evening has been structured, I'm just going to give a couple thoughts tonight. In part, I feel at home here in this family. This is my extended family. And as my wife knows, she knows I'm at home here and that I'm in my family, and she wished she could be here. But the last time that I've been in a tent like this, she was also in a tent like this. There were two tents in 1982 for the 1,500 people who were protesting the Livermore nuclear weapons design lab. We had, in fact, in the first one, we circled the lab. Or actually, we were inside. We were in jail in Santa Rita. And the Catholic community encircled the lab, which is a big operation, hand to hand. And there was a picture of my son with the woman who was taking care of him while we were in jail. And he was about 6 or so, 8, and he had a big sign saying, "Stop the MX, free mommy and daddy." And so it was too many people for Santa Rita jail. So in each year, they put up these huge circus tents, one for the women and one for the men. And they always had a talent show in the circus tents in the jail, run by Wavy Gravy, some of you may know, is the great master of ceremonies. And so here was my contribution both years to the talent show. Getting this past the guards, getting into the jail.
Looks like the Pentagon Papers to me. I know you thought about a red.
Daniel Elford's in Massachusetts.
I need an assistant for this. Come on. You got to come up. While you're coming up, I'll
Nothing up my sleeve.
pretty solid club. Share a couple of the lighter moments of our arrest the other day, which actually was very light from start to finish. I got interviewed here by the New York Times and the Washington Post, the LA Times, thanks to Cindy being here, and the president, of course. And right after the ceremony today, which was so great, they're asking me about the arrest. So I had been holding in what really to say about the police here, because I was afraid to get them in trouble in McLennan. But finally I let it out, that they said, you know, what were they like? And so the police, well, the truth was they were so nice. I didn't know how to put it. I was afraid, you know, they'll get fired. It was hard to believe that they were not on our side in some sense, because as I say, I have been arrested. We had to fill out a form coming in, the most extensive forms I've ever filled out. As they asked at one point, have you been convicted of a felony? No. Misdemeanor, yes. What are the circumstances? I didn't list them, so I said between 68 and 71 misdemeanors, civil disobedience and so forth. And then they said, have you been charged with a felony? And I said, yes, 12 felony counts and this and that. But another, when they were putting us in, the 12 of us know this routine, but I'd never gone through any of this before. They literally never. And one of the questions was, a lot of mental things. They're very worried. Are they bringing anybody in who will be a disruptive element, into jail one way or another, or give them trouble? And one of the questions was, have you been recently very worried or bothered by anything other than your present legal circumstances? Particularly, I said, oh yes, sure, indeed. So they, oh really? And got ready to write, and I said, what was that? I said, well, our country's foreign policy. And so he said, oh, really? And he wrote down our country's foreign policy. And I said, so that's a new one. I said, well, why do you think we're all here? But when I was trying to explain to the reporters how dizzyingly nice these people were, I said, well, they had plastic straps, for the handcuffs, and I didn't go into all this, but I spent a lot of time with handcuffs behind me with the circulation cut off in a van with no ventilating in the sun, for 5 or 6 hours. And it occurs to me that's what they would now, not torture, of course, but that's what they call torture light, Well, somebody who'd been arrested here before said, if you have a bad back or something, they'll handcuff you in front. It never happened to me before. That was great. So he said, do you have any medical problem or something? I said, yes, I do have a bad back, which is true. So they handcuffed me in front. They used metal cuffs, and they definitely left about 6 things at the end. They did not do it tight. They let me take my coat off and so forth. So I mentioned this to the press today, and the LA Times guy said, did they give you a massage? And I said, I didn't think to ask them. I'm sure they would have. But so the upshot is, I think these guys think that those ordinances are unconstitutional, which they are. And some of you heard me say this already, but I'll just tell you, here I came, I asked Ann, well, what's the action tomorrow? I came on the night before, and she said, well, if she'd said we're going to sit in the road or we're going to storm the Western White House or whatever, I'm here to be in solidarity with all these people. I'm here to thank you for being here. So the best way to thank everybody is to join arms and do the action. But instead, they said, no, we don't have to sit in the road to get arrested here. All you have to do is be in the right-of-way next to the road, Here they've forbidden that in September. So, and I remember asking, so here we were charged with 2 counts, each one worth 6 months, each one, and $2,000. I said, $2,000, usually there's a $50 fine or $100 fine for this kind of thing. And I said, wow. And by the way, I'll say right now, we'll see how this comes out, but I ain't paying any $2,000 or $4,000. So I guarantee you that. So I'll come back here, but if it comes to that, I'll take the 60 days in jail, because I could pay that, actually, but, a lot of people who want to get arrested here cannot pay that, and I'm not going to buy my way out of it. So we'll be in jail together if they don't dismiss those ordinances beforehand. But finally, I was telling this to the reporters there, that there is a genuine constitutional issue that we're working on here. I came to protest the war and to be in